Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be going over the behind the scenes on a curly cut. So I am a certified diva curl stylist. I've also done the Rizo curl class. And so in today's video, I'll be honest with you, I feel like I do a little bit of both, somewhere in the middle. Mostly though, it's just a dry, layered curly cut. So I'm just going to give you guys the behind the scenes of exactly what I'm doing, and in case you want to show your stylist just to get the exact haircut, or if you're an aspiring stylist, or if you're like me and just love watching curly hair videos, just keep on watching. So I want to give you guys a little bit of background story on the curls that we have in front of us. She was transitioning out of a little bit of heat damage. She obviously colors her hair. I don't color her hair. And so just making sure that she's taking as best care as she possibly can. She comes in once every 3 months for a dry curly cut. The reason why we cut her hair dry is because we want to retain as much length, also giving her really nice volume. And when you cut your hair wet, or when you cut your curls wet, not that it's a guessing game, but you can't really tell how much the curl is going to spring up, or you can't tell the true curl when the hair is wet versus when it's dry. So as you can see, I'm just really dusting her ends. We're trying to keep as much length as possible, going in and taking off very little bit. And this is where the fun begins. This is when I start to layer and really make sure that her hair is voluminous, has body. And this is important, guys. If you want volume in your hair, you need layers. You definitely have to cut layers. They could be long layers, so they're not super short. But I feel like for curly hair, especially if you have a lot of curly hair like this client does, cutting shorter pieces is what's gonna give you that movement and body that every curly girl is looking for, or really should be looking for, because that is what would look best on curly hair. So I want to speak about what you should be doing if you are also transitioning out of heat damage. First things first, make sure you're no longer using heat. I know it seems pretty obvious, but that really will allow your hair to breathe, and not using heat on heat damaged hair, you will be able to transition out of it a lot more quickly. The second thing that you should be doing is making sure that you're using a protein treatment or a deep conditioning treatment once a week. That's vital, because when you have heat damaged hair, usually the porosity of your hair is very high, which means that your cuticle is really ruffled up from the heat. And so using a deep conditioner or a protein treatment will start to heal your hair back. Now, will it ever go back fully? No, but this will help if you're not looking to big chop right away, and you can transition your hair to a healthier state and then slowly cut. And speaking of haircuts, you really should be getting a haircut once every 3 months to transition out of it. Once your hair's in a healthy state, you could wait a little bit in between haircuts. I would say anywhere from 4 to 6 months. But in the beginning, you want to make sure that you are cutting away the damage, because if you don't do it in time, it can split up the shaft and your hair will end up breaking off. And so you don't want your hair to break off before it's time. All right, now let's talk a little bit about my technique here. Pretty much I am just parting out the face frame first and her bang area. And I'm going in, I'm making sure, because this is the length of her hair, I'm cutting very, very little, not really elevating, which means that I'm not really allowing any layers at the very bottom of the hair, just trimming and shaping, and that's important. If you cut this part too short, then you cut the length too short, and you definitely don't want that, especially on someone who wants their hair as long as possible. Now this is where the real party starts. So I'm layering their hair and I'm bringing everything forward. It's important to bring all the hair forward because that's what creates a really nice round shape, or it creates a little bit more volume and body. Cutting the hair forward, I feel, gives the best shape for curly hair, really frames the face really beautifully, as opposed to bringing it just straight out from the head or bringing it behind. I hope that makes sense. But you can see here, as I'm cutting the layers, her hair is starting to get a little bit more round and a little bit more shaped rather than just a slope on the side of her head. And I always make sure to show the client what their hair shape looks like. Even though at this point it just looks really big and frizzy, you really could see the shape and you're able to go in and kind of fine tune before you head over to the sink. And you'll see I'm going to take it over to the sink. We're going to do a little bit of a conditioning, shampoo, and that's where we're going to style her hair. After a good deep conditioning treatment and styling her hair, we're going in and we're diffusing it on low heat, low speed. We definitely don't want to continue to give her any more heat onto her hair, but we are encouraging the curls that have a little bit of trouble curling. You can already see how beautiful and shiny and hydrated her hair looks as opposed to when she had came in. So these are the end results. Her hair looks shiny, hydrated, defined, and even her color looks a lot more vibrant. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next transformation video.